Hello people, it's your boy Usman back again with another video on my second channel, Usman Talks. Of course, some of you may know me from my original channel, which is Usman Talks United, which is predominantly football based. This is actually football themed. I have wrote a spoken word, as the title suggests, regarding the racism incident that happened this time last week actually. This video was meant to go out on the Friday or Saturday or even Sunday, but to be honest with you, the weather was so banging, I thought, no, I'm just going to take some time out. I'm just going to enjoy the weather with the homies, and I'll be back on Monday as I am. Obviously, this is pre-recorded, hence, your man's probably edited out about a million mistakes, but listen, it doesn't matter. It's the first time I'm doing something like this on my YouTube channel, so please bear with me. It's the first time, my reading, my writing, I don't know, it might not blow you away, but basically the way it's going to work is I have got my little black book here. Obviously, for those of you familiar with Death Note, no, this is not a Death Note. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then I know that reference, but I'm sure most of you will know. But anyways, yes, I've got some written words down, as you can see from here. I'm going to read it out the first time, and I'm going to go bar for bar and explain my thought process, my thinking behind those lines. Again, this isn't no Eminem, this isn't no bloody Nas or Tupac or no Lyrical Genius or J. Cole, obviously. As you can imagine, these are my favorite rappers that I mentioned, yeah. I'm not claiming to be a lyrical genius here, by all means. It's just pretty basic. My thoughts on the whole situation. I like putting it into poetry because, why not? So I'm going to read it out for you guys. I'm going to explain my thought process, have a little chit chat, leave your comments down below, your thoughts, not on just the writing, but your general thoughts regarding the situation. Make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, for more content like this. We're going to be doing more podcasts as well, so we're going to have guests on discussing these kind of topics like racism, men's mental health, struggling with depression, that kind of thing. This channel is all about having real conversations, and yeah, so we're going to start, I'm going to start waffling basically, I'm just going to get into it. Anyways. Right. This time last week, we were a country united. 3 penalties missed, and we're a country divided. Another plague in British history. Streets filled with rats, racists, and animosity. London is burning, and thy bridges will fall. As they boo the knee, how insightful. Deep-rooted issues in a society plagued. Government endorsed, and their fake rage. The country is torn and it ain't so pretty. Our screens for immigration rise swiftly. All because 3 black kings missed a penalty. But if they were white, would they react so aggressively? The kingdom not so united. Unless the pins are scored, or the pens are scored, the boys would have been knighted. This time last week, we were a country united. 3 penalties missed, and now we're a country divided. I mean, that is the spoken word for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. But like I said, I'm going to go through the sort of lines again. It's nothing. It's not a lyrical genius. It's just my thoughts on the situation first and foremost. The poem itself, I should have said this at the start, but it is called "Country Divided." I mean, it's quite fitting for what I'm talking about. And yeah, I'm going to go through each line. Obviously, let a brother know your thoughts. I mean, I just want to go through it so I can give my personal opinion on the situation line by line sort of thing. So I'm going to start from the beginning again. So I'm going to read it through again. So if you did enjoy it the first time, you might not enjoy it the second time. But anyways, this time last week, like I said, it was meant to be uploaded on the weekend, but bear with me. This time last week, we were a country united. 3 penalties missed, a country divided. I mean, that as the opening sort of a couple of lines, it says it all really. First and foremost, the 3 penalties missed, a country divided. It's so true though, isn't it? Like, if I uploaded at the right time, Friday, Saturday or Sunday, then it would have probably hit home a bit more than being uploaded on Monday. But let's just cast our mind back to last week, on the Friday, on the Saturday, or even on the day of the game. The sort of camaraderie of the people in the streets, in particular, someone as a Pakistani with a beard. I mean, I experienced it. I didn't feel like I was an outsider at any point. And it was a beautiful feeling. I've got to say, it's not something that I'm familiar with. I mean, I don't walk the streets and never feel like I'm an outsider, but you always have that feeling in the back of your head that, people may or may not like the way you look for whatever reason, the colour of your skin, my beard. I mean, as fellow Muslim brothers, you'll understand, with a beard as well, you have an extra thing as well on top of, being the fact that you're brown. But that aside, I didn't feel any of that. You know, I remember we was on our way to Manchester to watch the game at a mate's house. We drove through Glossop, which is a village between Sheffield and Manchester, like the path. And honest to God, it was beautiful, patriotic, flags everywhere. That's what you want to see. Everyone united. People on the streets before the game started, like an hour before the game. Everyone's hugging each other. Everyone's in good spirits. Everyone's loving life. And, you know, that all came crashing down Monday or even Sunday night for some people, sadly, in particular in London. But I mean, that's the sad thing about the reality. You know, the football brought everyone together, which is what we'd expect, because of course everyone's supporting the same team. Everyone's in it together, so to speak. As soon as three black people in particular, we've got to point that out, 3 black people missed the penalties, all of a sudden we were outcast again. I mean, it just like that, a flick of a switch, we went from I love fucking Raheem Sterling to I fucking can't stand that X, Y, and Z insert disgusting racial slurs. I mean, it's just the way people's true colours come out when basically the point I'm trying to get at, when we make a mistake, honest to God, their hate that is abandoned our way. But when we're doing something well, like Sterling, for example, or Marcus Rashford, who was one of the people that received abuse, I mean, then they will be loved. So basically, in society, to a racist, unless you're doing something that benefits them personally, they fucking hate you pretty much. Like, look at Marcus Rashford, right, as an example. I mean, he's received a lot of abuse as well as the other two, Sancho and Saka. But Rashford in particular, I mean, this guy has gone above and beyond for this country, right? And I'm not saying that you can't criticise his football because he's done X, Y, and Z for the country, because of course you can criticise him for missing the penalty. I'm not saying don't criticise him for missing the penalty. I'm saying he's done X, Y, and Z, and he's fed half of these racist kids, right, only for them to turn around and absolutely hurl abuse at him. It's absolutely disgusting what's happened to him in the week that's just happened. I've seen so many posts on Twitter. There's one guy in particular saying that, oh, Rashford's been feeding my kids for X, Y, Z months, 3 months, 4 months, but I was racially abusive to him when he missed that penalty. I mean, how much of a prick have you got to be? This guy is doing your job, putting food on your kids' table, and you got the audacity and cheek to give him abuse. Man, you should be ashamed of yourself. Simple as that. I did tweet it out as well, but absolutely disgusting. People like that are just scum of the earth. You don't deserve shit. Man's doing all of that. Your job as a dad is to put food on your kids' table, bro. Not Rashford's job, bro. It's not his job to put food on your kids' table, and he has gone above and beyond to do that. And then you got that absolute cheek to repay him in the manner in which you've done, which is give him abuse. I mean, it's absolutely filthy, bottom of the barrel of human beings. I mean, I've seen it all week. On the flip side, just a bit of positivity. The reaction from the general public, in particular the mural in Manchester, in Withamshire, has been beautiful to see, man. People have got rid of the graffiti. People have posted a lot of messages and love messages, obviously sharing love and kindness towards Rashford. I mean, that has been a positive. Obviously, love conquers all, that kind of thing. But anyways, moving on to the next line. Another plague in British history. I can't read my own handwriting, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so sorry, my camera cut out. So obviously this will be edited back in. Onto the next segment, which was another plague in British history. Streets filled with racists, rats, and animosity. I mean, I've read that the wrong way around, but it still hits the same way. Basically, it was a play on words. I was referring to the plague that was in the British history. Of course, everyone knows about that. But this is also talking about the fact that this is deep rooted into the English history. The racism is deep rooted, just like the plague was a part of British history. So is racism. We get told time and time again, this is not a racist country. But you, me, and all the other people who watch this know the amount of stories I've heard from my parents, my grandparents, their ancestors, that when they came to this country first, they were racially abused. The stuff that they had to overcome to get us even to this situation, get food on our table, man. And for me personally, I kind of want to refer to that. Of course, it's a plague. End of the day, just as the plague was so famous, this is a plague to us people of colour. And at the end of the day, we need to acknowledge the fact that this country is actually still racist. Is deep rooted into the society that we currently live in. And we're staying on the theme of British history. London is burning, and thy bridges will fall. Of course, as you guys will know about the London Bridge. Burning and falling, that kind of thing. This is kind of, again, a play on words, but this is kind of referring to the bridges that we've built prior to that day where they missed the penalties. So I felt like we had started to, I mean, obviously I know this is racism, I know X, Y, Z, but I genuinely felt a sense of unity for a brief moment during the Euros, because everyone was on the same page. You got black people scoring, you got white people scoring, you got Jamaicans playing well, you got people from Africa representing England. I mean, it felt like a unity, and those bridges have been burnt, just like they did in history. They've been burnt once again, so that's what I meant by that line. As they booed the knee in South, I mean, that's just self-explanatory. Absolute idiots. I'm sure you've all seen the videos of those absolute tossers booing the knee, absolute twats. Deep-rooted issues in a society plagued, again, as I've explained, a government endorsed and their fake rage. I mean, this, again, if you do follow the news, you'll know about this. I don't know if it was Priti Patel or if it was Boris, but I think it was Boris. But anyways, he was saying it was okay. I might have been Priti Patel, but they were saying it was okay to boo the knee because it was a political gesture and they felt like it had no place in sport. I mean, you're basically setting the flames for these racist pricks, and then after, when it's happened, that fake rage, as I'm referring to, is you're pretending to be upset about the situation. And bro, you're the one who caused the issue. You're the one who, as Tyrone Ming said, actually, he tweeted out, I wish I wrote his tweet down, I could have referred to that, but Tyrone Ming said it perfectly. You have the absolute cheek to now be fake raged about the situation which you created. So, yeah, that's what that's referring to. The country is torn, it ain't so pretty, of course, Priti Patel the cow. Screams for immigration rise swiftly. Again, I'm sure you guys have all seen Go Back to Your Country time and time again. Priti Patel obviously being the main instigator of that, hence I used her name. Of course, it ain't so pretty, again, a play on words. I mean, it explains itself. Like, it's an absolute shambles, it's disgusting. Some of the videos I've seen have been nothing short of barbaric. People getting attacked because of the certain colour of their skin. I mean, yeah, it's disgusting. Anyways, all because their black king missed a penalty. Three black kings missed a penalty. But if they were white, would they have reacted so aggressively? I mean, that's a question for you lot in the comments. I'm not going to sit here and say anything. I mean, I'm sure we can read between the lines. And basically, the point, I just had to throw the question out there. I mean, if it was three white players that missed those penalties instead of, let's just say, who scored? Was it Kane and Maguire? Kane and Maguire, let's just say that's Sterling, for example, and Rashford. Sterling and Rashford scored the penalties. Maguire misses his penalty, Harry Kane misses his penalty, and let's just say, I don't know, Kieran Trippier, I don't even think he was on the pitch. But anyways, for argument's sake, Kieran Trippier misses his. Three white guys missed, two black guys scored. Do you think the rage would have been as different? Do you think it would have been different, the reaction? I personally believe it would have been. I mean, it's disappointing because there was so... I personally think we got to a final for the first time in 60 years or whatever it was, 55 years, and there should have been happiness, there should have been joy. Of course, I understand the disappointment, I understand that, I understand the frustration that we're this close to winning a first major trophy in God knows how many years. But I would have thought the overriding pride of the fact that we got to the final and got that close to winning it would have overtaken, and it didn't. There could be days it didn't. It got worse and worse, if anything, until people had to step in and say, yo, X, Y, and Z is not correct. You shouldn't be giving these young kings racism. You know, so many like Nike, Adidas, these people come out and put adverts together, etc., and put billboards up in the different cities, you know, saying they're kings, etc. I mean, of course, that is a good thing to see. But I'm really disappointed. I really thought that was going to get overturned into positivity and think, no, okay, fair enough. I mean, obviously, it's not acceptable for them to be racist, but I thought people will come around and say, no, we've acted out, we should not have said those things, and we should be proud of the lads who've really taken us far this time, and hopefully next year we can go again. But that didn't happen. I mean, that really didn't happen, and I mean, I'm not going to say I'm disappointed, I'm not surprised. So but yeah, the questions for you guys, if they were white, would it have been the same reaction? I mean, I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but anyways, moving on to the last couple of lines. The kingdom not so united, obviously the United Kingdom. Unless the penalties are scored, those boys would have been knighted. I mean, I feel like that's a fitting way to finish the sort of written word, so to speak, written poetry, whatever you want to call it, spoken word. I mean, it's so true, isn't it? Like, you've seen a couple of... I mean, Sterling just got his MB not so long ago, but you saw in the World Cup, Kane got an MB, Southgate got an MB. And you know, if these guys scored the penalty and England win that, they class as heroes, they class as legend. And rightfully so, of course, that is legendary status. But The fact that they've missed, I mean, fine margins. Rashford's case, for example, 1 yard the other way, he scores, he hits the side and it goes in. Those fine margins, the difference between being called a legend or being shown so much love to the complete polar opposite of so much hatred. And for me personally, that's what leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Like if Rashford's shot is 1 yard inside the post and people are singing a different tune, and why should that be the case? I mean, that just because he's black, that is so. It's just disgusting, and it's quite clear that if we scored those penalties, they would have got the praise, and rightfully so. But I mean, criticize them all you want, but the way people reacted in this week that has just gone, it's been nothing short of embarrassing, and it really shows the true colours of this country. And it's sad to see, man. I mean, it's sad to see. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. But it is what it is. Anyways, that was my spoken word on the situation. Like I said, a couple of days late, so bear that in mind. I do apologise. I'll try to get the uploads more regularly. Just quickly before I do go, just to give you if you're new to the channel, it's the first time you see my content, which is understandable because I only have 25 subs, which is fair enough. Just to give you an insight, this is the kind of content that I will be putting on the channel regularly. I just want to talk real facts, not real facts, I just want to talk about real topics, topics that are important to me, things that I'm passionate about, speaking out about. I'm a very outspoken person in general. Like I said, we're going to have regular, if not weekly podcasts, and that's one thing you definitely need to stay tuned for. We're going to have a lot of guests on for them, and hopefully just have open conversations regarding these matters, and hopefully it can spark conversation. But if you like this kind of video, let me know in the comment section down below, and also slap a like on the video. That is the only way I know. This is the first time I've done something like this, somewhat out of my comfort zone, but as you can tell, I'm quite a chill guy anyways. But let a brother know, because that's the only way I'll know to do more. But yeah, apart from that, it's been your boy Usman. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed the way I've done it. Obviously gone through each kind of word. Again, I'm not a lyrical genius, I'm not claiming to do so, but it's just it's just to get my thought process. My overriding feeling just before I do go on the whole situation is, I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. I was expecting it. I'm sure a lot of people felt the same, when those 3 penalties were missed, and it was from 3 black people. We knew what was going to happen. And it's a sad reality of where we live in. As I've said in the poetry, it's history repeating itself. It's a plague, just like it was whenever that happened. I probably should have done more research on that. But anyways, drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, stay tuned. In terms of the upload schedule, probably once a week guaranteed, hopefully 2 a week, which is what's going to happen this week. But yeah, it's been your boy. Peace.